Hello, welcome to Let's Play LEGO Star Wars Video Game Part 7. And of course, I'm Ray Phoenix again. So, as you can see here, Obi-Wan is landing on Geonosis, where he's gonna spy on these separatist freaks that have their termite bug things that always look out for us, or that look out for bad guys, or, they take us out or report us to the boss and have us get, captured, which is exactly what's gonna happen in Obi-Wan here. He's saying a signal, he's gonna warn the people that, oh, I found the separatists, they're here in Geonosis, and then, meanwhile, his apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, and his girlfriend, Padme, are just flying around. Oh, look, they get a transmission from Obi-Wan. He's like, pew, pew, dun, 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 choo, choo. This is actually very different from how it was in the movie, but I'm not going to go into detail on that. If you want to know how this is different from the movie, go ahead, watch the movie. I dare you to watch the movie. So we return to, we go to Geonosis, we're at the droid factory, and they use the same design from episode 1, not the new ship design they actually had in episode 2. Why? It was probably easier to make this game. Just ring the doorbell and they'll let you in. They just use the same design over again. That's just how lazy the ship design, I've noticed that now. That's just how lazy these game makers were. So now we're in the droid factory. You see, the movie's often criticized because Anakin is all whiny and bratty, and he's like, it's not everyone's fault, I'm not the Jedi I should be way better, I should be really powerful, I should stop people from dying. He's a whiny brat in the movie, but thankfully, he's not a whiny brat in this game. He's actually pretty cool in this game, actually. He has a lightsaber, a blue lightsaber, he can swing it around, he's a master at using it. People shoot at him and he can't seem to hit them back, because maybe he's a pacifist or he doesn't want to kill them. I know always killed him there now. They're gonna go and fuss. So see, right now they're saying the termites after us, these bugs, these things that, I think I just had my building sprayed for these things actually last week, so yeah. Or you could just get Anakin to come and slice them up for you. I think spraying is a lot more efficient and more realistic. People that spray for bugs. There's actually quite a pandemic of bugs going around lately. Where buildings get infested with these bugs. They spread diseases of all sorts of bizarre diseases and sicknesses. I bet the reason why we have so many sicknesses is because of bug infestations. It's all about the bugs. So remember, when you see bugs around your place, you kill them. You get the exterminator to kill them. And you're not only doing yourself a favor, but you're doing our whole world as a community as a favor. And that's the PSA message from, Ray Phoenix. So I have to include a PSA message in my Let's Plays, right? Makes me more credible. Makes me more well-liked. I put PSAs in my, things. But again, I'm nowhere near as good as making PSAs as Ernest P. Worrell. You always have the best PSAs. Stick it or ticket. Encouraging people in North Carolina to wear their seatbelts. So now we're in the bowels of the factory now, where they're making all the lava. It looks like a junk factory, something like that. To shoot that target there, and then the thing comes up. I actually told my mom's boyfriend once about Attack of the Clones, and about how dumb of a movie it was, and he had no idea this movie existed. And he's a lot older than me, he's even older than my mom, and he had no idea this Attack of the Clones movie existed. I told him that Anakin's all whiny and bratty in it, and all the other stuff that happens, and he's like, nah, that's not possible. There's no way a real Star Wars movie like that could exist. Well, I hate to bring it to him, but it does exist. It's called Attack of the Clones. Considered by many to be the worst Star Wars movie ever. At least episode 1 had some redeemable qualities, a la Darth Maul. What does episode 2 have? It still has an annoying kid in it. It doesn't have any real cool villains in it. The villains are very generic, or just something that could have been, used as something else. It's not really uniquely Star Wars. It's very, it's just, what's the point of this? It's just, we have the same, so this is like, the action in it's not really unique to it. The storyline was pretty decent. That is Obi-Wan's side of the story. We're trying to solve a murder mystery. While Anakin's side of the story is just simply him being all whiny and bratty about how he's not the best, and him making mushy, wet romance with his girlfriend. Yeah, it kind of was a romance movie set in space. Still a much better love story than Twilight, though. It's still way better than 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, that's one thing for sure. It's not one of the worst. That's my opinion. It's not one of the worst movies. There's a lot of movies that are far worse than Attack of the Clones. I'm sure there are. Well, yeah, of course there are. Well, there's 50 Shades of Grey. It was a lot better than Paul Blart 2. God, I hated Paul Blart too. I think, no, I actually think, I can't remember which one won. I remember 50 Shades of Grey and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 closely competed in 2016 for the, I think it was in 2016, for the Razzie Award of the worst movie of 2015. I don't remember which one won though, but I remember they both competed for the Razzie Awards. There's a lot of good movies actually that win some Razzies because critics seem to hate them. You know, that's how it always is. There's always Razzie winners that people really secretly like. There's a lot of bad movies that are actually secretly good movies. Apparently a lot of people don't like Mystery Men that much, but I think Mystery Men's a hilarious movie. A hilarious superhero comedy. It makes fun of the superhero genre. It's another one of my favorite underrated classics. I actually crowned that movie my favorite movie of 1999, along with a lot of other movies. My favorite movie that came out in 1998 was Small Soldiers. My favorite movie that came out in 1997 was the Mr. Bean movie. My favorite movie that came out in 1996 was Star Trek First Contact. My favorite movie that came out in 95 was Toy Story. 94 was Dumb and Dumber. Most years in the 90s have a favorite. I have a favorite movie that came out in those years, even in the 2000s. My favorite movie that came out in 2000 is X-Men. My favorite movie that came out in 2001 was Rat Race. The list goes on. I have like all my favorite movies for pretty much every year. Rat Race is another underrated comedy classic, I think. It's really based on the movie It's a Mad World. And Rat Race has a lot of stars in it. Mr. Bean was in Rat Race. Mr. Bean's always the best part. I wish they put Mr. Bean into more movies. He'd make any movie better. I think he even said in one of the earlier parts that they should have put Mr. Bean in these Star Wars prequels. They would have been a lot more entertaining if Mr. Bean actually starred in them. So, it doesn't really make much sense why there's so much lava at a factory, unless you're a factory worker, so you can tell me, why would a factory have so much lava at it? It might have something to do with the fact that it's on Geonosis, so, you know there's something coming up. We see their idle enemy players have their weapons drawn out, so we know there's something coming up. So, let's go and fight. Oh look, there is Droidicas again. These Droidicas actually aren't that threatening. It's really easy to fight them off. The video games are the most frightening and would have to be probably, Star Wars Republic Commando. In Star Wars Republic Commando, every enemy in that game takes several hits to kill, and you have to use a whole team, and have to use a whole team and destroy them all as a team, with different weapons and gadgets, things like that. I never actually played Republic Commando before, but I heard it was a pretty good game. It only came out on the PC and Xbox. But I have an Xbox, so I should get the Xbox version. The Xbox, believe it or not, is the only Microsoft product I own. I have those scammers calling me, telling they're from Microsoft and here to service my Microsoft products. I tell them, the only Microsoft product I have is the Xbox, which is true. It is the only Microsoft product I own, is the original Xbox. It actually is my favorite Xbox, actually. It's not as prone to the red ring of death. It actually could get a red ring of death, but it's not as prone to it as the Xbox 360 is. At the same time, too, it does have those, what do you call them, the capacitors that rupture. I actually lost my first Xbox Jet. The capacitors on it ruptured, and there's all this sticky goo inside. It wasn't even sticky when I found it. It was all dried up, which was more like gum when I found it. But yeah, it was toast. So I missed my first Xbox. It was a really good system. I did get a replacement afterwards, which ironically enough worked a lot better, actually. The replacement I got was older, made in 2003, more than a year before the other one I had that died. So as you see here, we have the Droidicas guarding Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is heavily guarded, so we have to go out and rescue him. And look at that, Anakin's just ruling them all. He's just dominating them all. Little Jedi were like that. This war should never even happened in the first place. They can just that easily overpower the enemy like that. Let's go and use the Force and free Obi-Wan. There, Obi-Wan is free, and look at that. We're surrounded, and Jango Fett is there. You know, if he was Princess Leia, he'd be all going on like, what do you mean you don't have an escape plan? You don't have an escape plan? You don't know where we're going? Like, yeah, well, we don't have an escape plan and that. And then Obi-Wan would be like, someone has to save our skin's not, but he's not Princess Leia like that. So it's the end of the level. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.